bad feature does not mean that it's a bad app. This feature just completely flopped. What the hell happened? Because I thought this was going to be a game-changing feature. They didn't like how unorganized it was. Currently right now, it's a 4-step process to add projects. This is the best part of software engineering. If it's good for your clients, it's good for you, right? Sometimes you do things in life where you spend a lot of time, pour your love and attention into, and it just doesn't work out. And I spent 100 hours developing what I thought was going to be the most critical feature as far as this project management stuff goes, and it just completely flopped. So this video, we're gonna dive in, we're gonna analyze what the hell happened, and hopefully how we can avoid this in the future. But first, we need to clearly drown out our sorrows in some pumpkin spice latte, so let's go. All right, let's face it, making something that you think is good that just turns out to be bad, it just sucks. It feels like you got punched in the face, but let this be known that just because you had a bad feature or a feature that didn't go over well, does not mean that it's a bad app. Bad feature does not mean that it's a bad app. And I think it's easy to forget about that. And there's a couple things that help. One, get yourself a fun drink. Pumpkin spice latte season, and it's like a crisp 60 degrees outside, so we have a nice little hoodie on. And before we dive into the rest, let me just show you what the hell I'm talking about. All right, so within any project view, you have the ability to view your methods and your steps. You can come in here and look at what I'm calling the playbook or the blueprint, and you can ultimately come down here and see what inventory that you have associated to this project. And this can be a little better, but let's dive a little deeper into this problem. So instead, we come into edit the project, and let me refocus you here. We come into edit the project, and we have those steps that you saw in the blueprint. The problem here is you come into the next screen, and here's the inventory. Let's say you want to add something. You can go ahead and search for it, and let's add the metal shelf to our project. The other feature that's not done yet is the ability to click this button and create a brand new inventory item while you're in the middle of creating a project. I just haven't had time to finish that feature yet. But other than that, like, this is it. Like, this is all I was providing the user to do. Have a metal shelf, have some test inventory. If you want to delete something, you can delete it. If you want to increment the quantity of that, there you go. And initially I wanted to keep this so simple because I thought that this was going to be not a heavily used feature. And it turns out that I made it so simple that this feature just completely flopped. And I know this feature flopped because only 2%, not even 10%, but only 2% of all of my test users are even using it right now. So I'm about to dive onto a call with one of my good test users and just start asking questions and figure out what the hell happened, because I thought this was going to be a game-changing feature, and clearly it is not. So we just got off that call and I got some amazing feedback. 3 major takeaways. 1, they wanted the ability to assign a particular piece of inventory to a step. I just released that playbook feature, which allowed them to see the bottom sheet of all their inventory. They didn't like how unorganized it was. And then for some reason, it just was so disorganized that they didn't use the feature literally at all. So that was kind of, that was interesting to me, that organization to this particular audience seems to be super important, and any kind of disorganized feature is almost automatically a turnoff for them. So keep that in mind. It's a great, like, those are the precious gems of little details and notes that you need as you're building out more features. Is organization and details really matter to this audience. The other one was a strong desire for a web app, and me too. I like that one, but that one's a little bit less of a priority. And the third one, and something I think is an amazing idea, is the ability to quickly add projects. So currently right now, it's a 4-step process to add projects. The first step is the only step that's actually requires any information, and the rest are optional, but you still have to next through it. This user would love the ability to have a quick add project feature. So I'm thinking this is actually something pretty easy. I'm just going to knock this one out, and I think I'm going to be able to keep this fairly simple. A new screen that whenever you click the create button in the bottom is just going to pop open, have a quick add project button, which is only going to ask you for a title and allow you to quickly add that project. And I'm going to try to work this out just in the bottom sheet below so that the user doesn't even have to go to a different screen. Just click the plus button, roll, and then everything you need is right in the bottom sheet. That way it is truly a quick add. And now that I'm thinking about it, this makes total sense, because I remember I was in the mix of it, maybe literally sanding a cutting board or something, and I get a request for a new piece of furniture or whatever, and you just want to be able to jot it down quickly, brain dump it out, and move on and go back to what you're working on. So I think having this quick create project feature is going to be a game changer, and I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. This is one of those things, man, where it's just talk to your customers. And speaking of that, I'm now going to jump back to work. I have another talk with a customer, still trying to see what they would like to add to this app. But in the meantime, let's start working out those features. The last tip that I have for you on how to kind of combat some of these failures is recognizing it's not a failure. This is the best part of software engineering. And honestly, I think it's one of the parts that we forget a lot about. But one of, if not the best part of software engineering is figuring out what's not working and iterate. Just build it again and again and again until it is crystal clear, until it's smooth, until it's exactly what your clients are looking for. And ultimately, I think that is what is the most motivating factor, is when you are having fun, when you're building, when you're figuring it the hell out, especially when you don't know it and it's crazy and all those types of things. So don't look at this as a failed feature or anything like that. Just look at this as an opportunity to get clarity and figure out what the real product is. And ultimately, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If it's good for your clients, it's good for you, right? That's why you're building the product. Try to make some money from it. Try to build that startup. And ultimately, you have to start kind of getting used to things not being exactly how you would have used it or you would have liked it, and building the product that your clients actually want and the one that they're going to use and actually need. So I think this is hard to hear. So yeah, low key, it freaking sucks to hear those things. But ultimately, I know, and I'm saying this for y'all too, and myself included, I know that this is the best information for me. When features aren't working, I'm not building the best product for the clients. But at the end of the day, it's about having fun and showing up every day. So if you have some bad days or some bad features, just recognize that it is not the end. Talk to your clients, talk to them as often as possible. If you can talk to somebody every single day, that is a huge friggin' win. So talk to them as much as possible. Recognize that it's not a bad feature, it's not a bad app, it just needs a little polishing. Talk to your clients, figure out exactly what they need. And my experience has told me that every time I talk to a client, I always come up with 10 new feature ideas. And I think that's the main way to keep the wheel turning. And ultimately, I think that's what makes this software engineering, building products, like this is why we love this. We want to solve problems, we want to build cool shit, and just have fun along the way. But on some exciting news, I finally, first time announcing this, I finally have hired a YouTube editor to start helping me out with these videos so that I can keep up publishing every single week. That is the main goal, every Sunday at 11 a.m. EST. But give my time and energy and focus back to building this app, building community with you all, having fun, taking a little bit of stress out of my life, and buying my time back. You know, I think this is now the time to start really buckling down and focusing. I have a huge goal of having monetization on this app turned on within the next, let's just say 3 months. Yeah, the next 3 months, saying it here right now that I want to have my first real paying customer on this app within the next 3 months. So I think that's super exciting. Timur, go ahead and drop a card somewhere up here. Let him know how to find you if y'all are looking for an editor whatsoever. He is super awesome to work with. We're still working out styles and getting to know each other a little bit more, but so far my experience has been really incredible, and I want y'all to be able to share in that wealth too. So if you are a content creator looking for an editor, hit him up. He's really, really great, really friendly, awesome to work with, super responsive, which I really appreciate that out of you, and is willing to work with me when I have some crazy family situations. So that is all I have for y'all today. I need to head home so that I could lock in for the rest of the day, finish out these couple features for the customers. I'd like to push a new build tonight, so we're going to strive to push a new build tonight. And with that, I'll see you all next week. Peace.